Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. It's great to see so many people here. And today we're going to be putting a spotlight on sustainable products from across Scotland. The webinar is being offered in partnership from our member organization, Visit Scotland, and you'll be hearing a bit from them in just a few minutes. But I want to thank everybody for being here and taking this opportunity to engage with our Meaningful Travel Impact partners. This webinar is for all of you, so we encourage you to engage in the chat by introducing yourself, and then throughout the webinar, feel free to engage in the chat and definitely put any questions that you have into the Q&A feature. Since we're going to pause between groups of presentations and have a chance to ask questions of our impact partners, our panelists today, and delve a little bit deeper into the fantastic work that our partners are doing. My name is John Sutherland, and I'm the Senior Director of Community Impact at Tourism Cares. Tourism Cares is a 501c3 US-based nonprofit organization, and our mission is to unite the travel industry and serve as a catalyst for positive social, environmental, and economic impact for the people and places of travel. We do that through things like in-person events, networking, industry trainings like this webinar, online education, and through tools and resources that are intended to serve all the segments and all professionals within the travel and tourism industry. At Tourism Cares, we recognize that sustainability is a journey. It may even be a long journey. So some of you may be really knowledgeable, really advanced along that journey, and some of you may be at the beginning stages. So we just want you to know that regardless of where you're at on that journey, we welcome you into our community and we invite you to take steps along with us in the right direction. We use the term meaningful travel a lot, so I thought it'd be helpful just to define it up front. We define meaningful travel as that which ensures direct benefits for our host communities. It protects cultural and environmental assets, and it connects guests with destinations in a deeper, more responsible way. We like to encourage our members and the broader community to infuse meaningful travel into tours, into partnerships, just like you would any other component or any other partnership that you have. And we've tried to make it as easy as possible for you with the Tourism Cares Meaningful Travel Map, which we'll be talking about a little bit today. And we have impact partners from our map here to present to you. The Meaningful Travel Map's an online tool that gives tour operators, advisors, but really everybody in the industry a source for vetted, sustainable products and services, which includes experiences, restaurants, accommodations, community-led enterprises, and more. Here you're going to see a screen grab of a user seeing a view of the Meaningful Travel Map of Scotland and navigating from the Visit Scotland profile to one of our impact partners on the map, which is Kitchen Coups and Use. The user can view information about each one of the impact partners in their profile. The profile includes the experiences they offer, background about the business, their impact, as well as answers to common questions that you might get from travel trade professionals. We're in the midst of our Get on the Map campaign right now at Tourism Cares, which is an industry-wide nudge to encourage participation in the map and adoption of the map and its principles. So you can visit after the webinar or while it's going on, tourismcares.org/get on the map to learn more about the map and our more than 365 global impact partners. But today, though, is focused on Scotland and the Meaningful Travel Map of Scotland. And we'll pop a link for that specific view of the map in the chat. But we're going to hear from 8 different impact partners from around the country of Scotland, all doing incredible work so that you can get a sense of how meaningful travel is good, not just for the local social, economic, and environmental impact, but also for your customers. So with that, in a moment, I'll pass it over to my colleague, Caitlin McLeod from Visit Scotland to introduce their work, and then she will invite the partners one by one to do short presentations. But before I do that, just as a reminder, please use the Q&A to ask questions of specific panelists or of the group. And with that, Caitlin, please take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, John. Great to be here. I'm Caitlin McLeod. I'm Market Development Manager for North America at Visit Scotland, Scotland's national tourism organisation. I've worked with Visit Scotland for some time now, and I've had the pleasure of working across visitor information, destination development, and now working with those who sell holidays and vacations to Scotland to provide information and inspiration on bookable tourism experiences available for the travel trade. I'm joined today by my manager, Gwen Reyes, who supports our long haul market teams. And Gwen will come in at the end to say hello and wrap up the webinar today. So this project with Tourism Cares is something I've personally been working on since January this year. And highlights definitely include celebrating being the first European destination on Tourism Care's Meaningful Travel Map, and also, of course, all the one-to-one conversations I've had along the way with the many providers on the map. I'm so excited to have worked with 8 of those on our map for today's webinar so that they can share their stories with you and really bring to life what meaningful travel in Scotland can look like. Could you go to the next slide, please, John? Thank you. So, as a Canadian once described to me, Scotland is a jack of all trades. It's a land that is steeped in history and heritage stretching back thousands and thousands of years. There are vast lochs, glens, and mountains on the doorstep of vibrant cities, quaint towns, and seaside villages. There's an array of unique experiences that you can only get in Scotland, from getting up close to Highland coos, to weaving your own tartan, to uncovering your past through ancestry and genealogy, to even learning more about the world through our UNESCO geoparks, biospheres, and World Heritage Sites. Scotland truly is unique, and it's our natural environment, history, and culture that are so special, drawing millions of people from all over the world to visit Scotland each year. Could you go to the next slide? Thank you. So, with that in mind, we recognise the need for responsible tourism for a sustainable future. If you're a Scottish tourism provider, a travel intermediary, such as a tour operator or a travel advisor, and or a visitor to Scotland, we can all play a part in maximising the positive impact that tourism can bring to Scotland, protecting Scotland's world-famous natural assets and renowned tourism offering for generations to come. Next slide. And one way that Visit Scotland are driving these ambitions forward is working with Tourism Cares to build Scotland's meaningful travel map. It's a map that's here to help you, those of you who are creating tours, itineraries, and planning trips to Scotland. We've built our map from 15 Scottish suppliers at the time of launch in March to now having over 30 pins on our map. We're to help you weave in meaningful travel experiences for your clients. This includes social enterprises, B Corp certified businesses, experiences led by the communities, and Scottish charities, all where the money that comes in goes back into local projects and initiatives. I can confidently say that these are all led by passionate people with the potential for tourism to be a real force for good at their heart. You'll hear from 7 of them, of those who are on our map today, who are working tirelessly to conserve and rewild Scotland's natural environment, to preserve old traditions and bring much needed skills development and employment opportunities, and to help those who are most vulnerable and improve social well-being. So I really highly encourage you to listen to the speakers today and use the chat function and the Q&A function as we go through and as you hear from the presenters from Scotland. Today is going to be a bit of a taster, so do please reach out and go visit our landing page and dive a bit deeper after this as well. Go to the next slide. So here's just a final thing from me before I pass over. To support you on your journey to create meaningful travel moments for you and your clients, we have some dedicated resources available to you. We have resources on our travel trade website, as well as imagery and video that you can access, as well as further information and inspiration on our consumer-facing website, visitscotland.com. We might be a small country, but there's a lot to explore. So if you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to us at the traveltrade@visitscotland.com. Now, I have the pleasure of passing over to the impact partners themselves now. So we're going to be starting on a theme of preserving Scotland's natural environment. So I'll pass over to Laura Lynn Cummins, who's director at Dundragon Rewilding Centre.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thanks. I'm delighted to be here as one of the impact partners in Scotland. I'm the director of Dundragon Rewilding Centre, which is one of the world's first rewilding centres of its kind. We're owned by Trees for Life charity and operating as its enterprises arm at our 10,000-acre flagship conservation estate here in Glenmoriston in the Highlands. The Rewilding Centre is about 1 hour's drive from Inverness, a midway point along one of the main routes to the Isle of Skye. You travel along Loch Ness past Urquhart Castle to get here from the north, or past Ben Nevis and the beautiful Caledonian canals of Fort Augustus from the south. We are only 8 miles from the shores of Loch Ness, nestled in Glenmoriston here. We opened the Rewilding Centre last year to create a gateway for more people to experience Dundragon. And that's firstly, the rewilding that is happening here. Trees for Life has been rewilding the Caledonian Forest and the Scottish Highlands for over 30 years, and we've owned and operated Dundragon since 2008. It's also a gateway to the natural and cultural heritage that's found here. But the biodiversity here at Dundragon is really rich, with 4,000 species of flora and fauna. And the Gaelic language, history, and folklore is incredibly rich and deeply rooted in the landscape as well. So we offer self-guided interpretation in our center, as well as a program of guided activities led by our visitor experience team, so that people can immerse themselves in that landscape, explore, and be inspired, not only by our initiatives, but other rewilding initiatives across Scotland, such as Scotland the Big Picture, who's going to be speaking to you next. So we are open year-round here at Dundragon. We welcome groups of all sizes, including coaches, and we have our program of guided activities that can be tailored to each group and their needs and interests. Along with our visitor center, we have a 70-cover cafe that focuses on seasonal local ingredients. And we also have a 40-bed accommodation so that people can stay longer, and we can also host residential groups. That's 20 ensuite rooms with single and double occupancy. Along with the building works, we also helped develop a better and improved network of footpaths so that people could explore the landscape outside on their own or along with our very skilled team. A little bit more about what makes us meaningful travel here. Glenmoriston, where we're located, is often bypassed by visitors on their way to Skye or to Inverness and vice versa. But there are so many lovely things happening here and local businesses to support in this very glen. So one of our objectives for the Rewilding Centre is to create that draw for slower tourism so that people are spending more time and money, not only with us at Dundragon, but others nearby. We also wanted to be a job creator and to show that rewilding estate can be an exemplar of that socioeconomic benefit that brings. We have over 30 staff members, it's 17 full-time equivalents, from seasonal staff all the way up to permanent year-round. We also try to source everything as locally as possible to support our sustainability and support local businesses within the supply chain. Our financial objectives for the Rewilding Centre are to become a profit-generating business, with that profit going directly to support Trees for Life charity work and making it financially sustainable over the long term, with less reliance on grants and fundraising. So the money spent by visitors here at Dundragon will help nature and communities thrive through our rewilding initiatives for many years to come. And eventually, some of the profits that we make here, we would like to use to subsidize for other visitors and groups who might not otherwise be able to afford to come for an experience like this. So that would be school groups, community groups, those with smaller budgets. We believe that by creating this gateway and providing more access to nature and culture, we're providing more people with an opportunity to reap the physical, the mental, and the social well-being benefits that come from spending time immersing themselves in that natural and cultural landscape here. So that is a very brief introduction to Dundragon. I welcome anyone to contact me with questions. I can go into more detail about the types of activities that we can offer you and your groups. I'd be delighted to give a virtual tour when possible, or if you happen to be in the Scottish Highlands, please stop by and see us and experience all the great things that Dundragon has. But thanks very much.
Thank you, Laurelyn. I'll now pass over to Jane Morris, who is the Rewilding Experiences Lead at Scotland, The Big Picture.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here today, and it's great to see so many of you joining us today on the webinar to learn a bit more about Scotland and what we can offer. My name's Jane Morris. I am the Rewilding Experiences Lead at Scotland, The Big Picture. We are an environmental charity with two key objectives. The first is to commit more land and water to rewilding, which you've heard a bit about from Laurelyn already. We do this by working with over 80 landowners and communities across Scotland, where we're hands-on. We're planting trees, we're digging ponds, we're reintroducing missing species, all to help restore the biodiversity of our country. The other objective we have is to drive support for that rewilding. And we have a phenomenal team of photographers and filmmakers, hence the name Scotland, The Big Picture. And they create an impactful communications portfolio to push the boundaries for nature recovery and to improve understanding of the benefits and opportunities that rewilding can bring. Another way we drive support is by offering the rewilding experiences, which is my role. Oh, that guy just pops in to make sure that you're all paying attention. He is. The rewilding experiences that we offer are Cairngorms Rewilding Journeys. The Cairngorms is a national park, and it's on the main train line between Edinburgh and Inverness, so easily accessible for anyone coming into our main airports, and we offer free transfers from the train station. The rewilding journeys we offer are a carefully crafted blend of discovery and inspiration. And if you were to sell them to one of your clients, the way I would describe them is as follows. In the company of expert guides and like-minded travellers, you'll visit transformational rewilding initiatives and meet the inspiring people that are driving them forward. After a day immersed in wild nature, you'll relax in comfortable accommodation and enjoy delicious, locally sourced food. Those are all key elements of what we do. The food is local, the employees are local, you meet the local people who are working the land to rewild it, and so you get a real immersive experience. The pictures on the slide there show you the accommodation. That's Ballangine Mountain Lodge, where you would be staying for this event. That's a very local view from over the water there. And then that's one of our groups sitting outside, enjoying some conversation and probably some lovely food. The practical nuts and bones of this trip are that it's a 5-night, 6-day fully guided tour. It's fully catered. There are no single supplements, and a lot of our participants are single. We have very small group sizes, up to 8 people maximum, which ensures a really immersive tour and people have the chance to really ask questions and be part of what they're taking part in. Our 2025 retail price for this particular description of trip is £1,895 per person. There is a commission rate that we offer to all of our tour partners of 15% on that. And we can create tailor-made tours by request, either in English or German. So please do not hesitate to get in touch with me if you want to discuss a particular requirement you have for a group of clients or individuals. This little guy pops up to remind me that we've got some fantastic partners to see today, so we need to keep moving. He never stops, so we'll keep moving. My contact details are Jane Morris. You can contact me, Jane, at scotlandbigpicture.com. I will also be at the World Travel Market in London in a couple of weeks. So if you're going to be there, please do get in touch with me and we could perhaps hook up. I will also share a link to our 1-minute long promotional film in the chat, which you're welcome to share with your clients as a taste of the rewilding experience that they could have here in the Scottish Highlands. So I look forward to speaking to some of you soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jane. I will now pass over to Marie McNulty, who is the Business Development Lead Officer for Galway and Southern Ayrshire UNESCO Biosphere and their experiences.
Can you do the next slide, Caitlin, please? Hi everybody, as Caitlin said, my name is Marie McNulty and I'm the Business Development Lead for the Southwest Scotland Biosphere. As you can see on the map, Scotland does have a south. I think people just think it's just got middle, the middle and north. On my back. We have amazing, Scotland's just such an amazing landscape. So Southwest Scotland covers about 5,000 square kilometres. We were designated a UNESCO biosphere by UNESCO in 2012, and that was in recognition of our world-class natural environment and a commitment that we have to demonstrate to UNESCO around sustainable development. So our landscape is a mix of wild, remote rolling hills with huge peatlands and deep lochs, and we have rivers that roll out to our rugged coastal landscape. So we're all about promoting sustainable slow tourism, and our aim is to champion our small businesses and our guides. So we've done quite a lot of guide training and encourage collaborations between our more sustainable businesses within our biosphere. So our experiences that we've created, especially for travel trade, and they celebrate not only our culture and heritage, but our passionate businesses and that passion that they have for the land and the natural environment. So we have 4 experiences that we've created, and they range from dark skies experience, because we have one of the darkest skies in Europe, to a tea drinking experience in Glentrool, which was actually the bloody battleground of Robert the Bruce, to experiences connecting with some of the clans that we have in the south. So we have an experience at Sorby Tower where you meet the clan Hannay and find out about how they're kind of trying to reinvigorate and survive and revive the existing tower that belonged to the Hannay clan. And we also have experiences in like woodlands and foraging. So we have beautifully crafted and curated experiences specifically for travel trade, which go from 8 to 12 people. So just to tell you a little bit about our organisation, we're a charity and we have a trading arm which is Biosphere Experiences. All the profits that go from the experience that are sold go back into nature and supporting our natural environment and communities. So that's it from me. There is a link to our travel trade page that tells you more about what we're doing. But I say all our experiences are about connecting people with nature and celebrating, and our passion that we have for our land and what our businesses have as well. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marie. I think I'm now passing over to John, who's going to facilitate some Q&A there.
Sure, we have time for kind of one question from that group of presenters. Thank you so much for your short presentations there. I think the question I'd like to ask is, what are some of the kind of unique experiences, meaningful experiences that you might put on through connections of the travel trade? So if a travel advisor reaches out, or if a tour operator reaches out, something that maybe isn't available widely online, or that is a little bit maybe special or unique. And then Jane, while you're answering that question, you can just also take a moment to share whether there are shorter options like day trips that you are able to offer. So I welcome the 3 panelists to share their videos and jump in and answer these questions.
So shall I come in? All our experiences, we've only got 4 experiences, but they've all been created especially for travel trade. So they're all exclusive to travel trade. And they are very unusual, like the tea drinking ceremony. The tea ceremony in the Galloway Forest Park, it's an experience of contrast. So you've got this gentle experience, but like I said, it's actually the battleground of Robert the Bruce. So that's a really kind of very unusual experience. And the one at Sorby Tower, which is the seat of Clan Hannay, that will actually be meeting somebody from the clan as well at Sorby Tower. The experiences vary from sort of a couple of hours to half a day, but they've all been put together exclusively for travel trade, so they're not bookable. They're not bookable at all by anybody else. Thank you.
Hi, yeah, we do have a range of different tours that we do. Many of them are not available immediately to book by the travel trade. So that's something we're working on to try and have more of a shorter option for people. The 5-night stay, the 6-day tour is our best-selling option. And that's the one that we really do make available as much as we can, because that gives people a truly immersive experience and a chance to really understand and see a lot of the national park and the Highlands of Scotland, as well as do the rewilding thing. But we're always happy to discuss tailor-made options with people. So do please just get in touch, because we've got a range of guides and a range of partners that we work with, including Dundregan, where we often visit on our tours. So we can really make something that suits your clients, and do that in a really quick turnaround time. So you're not having to think, oh, was that 6 weeks of emails back and forth? No, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, and likewise, we're pretty flexible about being able to tailor experiences. We've got a wide variety of knowledge and skills on our visitor experience team and our colleagues in the charity and on the estate team. So we can offer some behind the scenes tours to some of the planting sites. We can go to black grouse lekking sites, going to look for golden eagles. We can do wildlife photography tours. And we can really do anything from a 20-minute walk and talk to people just to give them a really top-line overview of what we do, to more immersive, even hour-long activities. So bushcraft, woodworking, Gaelic storytelling. And if there's any idea that people have to bring to us, we're more than happy to entertain that and just tailor the experience to people's interests as much as we
Great.
can.
Yeah, thank you, Laura Lynn. Thank you, Jane and Marie. And I see we're getting some more questions in the chat. I think a couple of them are really good for the end when we're talking to all the panelists, or our impact partners are also welcome to jump in and share their answers right there in the FAQ feature. But now I will pass it back over to Caitlin to introduce our next impact partner presentation.
Great, yeah, I agree. Thanks, John. So next we're going to move on to the theme of preserving Scotland's cultural heritage. So I will be passing over to Sandrine, who is the Head of Travel Trade and Hospitality at the National Trust for Scotland.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Delighted to be here today. So I'm the Head of Travel Trade and Hospitality for the National Trust for Scotland. For some of you, if not everybody's familiar with our organization, we are basically Scotland's largest conservation charity. We look after hundreds of sites across Scotland, from castles, gardens, houses, battlefields, nature reserves, islands and monuments, including some UNESCO sites such as the island of St Kilda that you may be familiar with. The core purpose of our organization is conservation. So every penny spent with us and every tour that you organize with us or experience that you organize with us, basically every penny goes back into looking after Scotland's heritage. So you know that basically you're helping us to look after all those stories and build a natural heritage that the beautiful Scotland has to offer. So in terms of the travel trade, how do we work? We have what we call the one-stop shop, which is basically a central team, because we are scattered all over Scotland. We're very lucky to have a team based at head office, and this team looks after the whole kind of journey for you, the entire booking cycle. So from the inquiry level, we have a team who will take all your bookings and inquiries and distribute them to the properties so that you only have one point of contact. They will follow the whole journey, including the invoicing afterwards. We do all the product development and sales trips, sales training, products updates. We have a wide variety of content material that we can share with you, including videos and amazing banks of photographies and stories and all sorts of collaterals that we can share with you. And my colleague Rianne, who's not on the call today, but is amazing at doing sales presentations and products updates, and she will be delighted to do that if it was of interest. So next slide, please. So as far for this particular presentation today, we thought we will focus on two of our properties and experiences. I mean, we have, because of the nature of the organization we have basically all sorts of properties and experiences that we can offer, from gardening to storytelling to cooking, because we're so vast in terms of what we offer. But we were thinking about those two, which are both about gardening, but they look at two aspects of gardening. The first one is based at Fyvie Castle, which is a fairy tale castle based in the northeast of Scotland. And we've kind of named that experience the future of sustainable gardening. So it's more about educating visitors on how to care for a produce garden in the most sustainable way. So basically, this experience has been designed in partnership with our head gardener, Gordon, who is passionate about sustainable gardening practices. And Fyvie Castle, not many people know that, but actually is the home of the largest collections of Scottish fruits and vegetables in Scotland, as well as having other produce, plants and flowers available in the garden. So during this experience, Gordon, our head gardener, will teach your clients how to care for a produce garden, what to plant and when, as well as the sustainable methods that we use to look after and to care for a garden. As well as doing all of that, we will taste, depending on obviously on the season, but some of the produce from the gardens and visit the castle. And again, depending on the length of the experience and how long your clients have on site, we can also cook some of those ingredients and prepare a traditional Scottish dish depending on the season. The second experience, also around gardening, or gardens rather, it's Inverlew Gardens. And it's called Sustainability on the Edge. So it's looking at sustainability, but from a different angle. It's really showing how we combat the effects of climate change on a local level. So Inverlew Garden is a absolutely fairy tale garden, again, amazing garden located in the northwest of Scotland. And really here we look at celebrating the best of human achievements in a natural environment, including our innovative sustainability initiatives. So we invite your clients to join our team and to learn about this kind of paradise of unusual and wonderful plants, and see how we're using ancient technology to turn invasive species of plants, as well as our cafe, retail and office waste, into biochar. So excuse me, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce it well. I'm still not sure how to pronounce it, but it's biochar, BIOCHAR. So it's a compost supercharger. So basically it's going from state-of-the-art composting system to garden in just 6 to 10 weeks. So we organize a behind-the-scene tour of that, and then a tour with the head gardener when you learn all about the different plants that we have in the garden. So next slide, please. So what's next? This is just really to give you a snapshot of what we do and what we offer. But last year, we started this group, this community, shall we say, called The Helm. And it's basically a B2B community, whereas we're coming together with tour operators and MICE agents to look at sustainable products and sustainable product development. So it's really trying to move away from this purely commercial relationship and saying, we're in this together, we're in partnership, and how can we put all those products together and to make sure that they are as sustainable as possible. So they focus on different aspects of sustainability, listed a few here: well-being, education, looking at regional spread so that we don't always promote and the same properties. We make sure that other properties in different regions benefit as well from the tours. We focus on the charitable purpose, on community engagement, and on hands-on conservation experiences. So again, we are at the very beginning of that journey, but it's very exciting journey for us to be on. And obviously, if any of you is interested to join us with some of those discussions, please contact us. But there's the email address here, and I'm sure contact details will be shared later on as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sandrine. That's great. I'm now going to pass over to Rich Hidden, who is Assistant Director of Operations at the amazing Scottish Cranach Centre.
Hi, cheers, Caitlin. Thank you. So yeah, the Scottish Cranach Centre is amazing, obviously. But what we are is we're an Iron Age museum, and we tell the stories of these fantastic buildings called crannogs, which are unique to Scotland. And the way that we've always operated and worked is that we are here to tell a story of a community that was here 2,500 years ago, living in Loch Tay in Scotland. And the best way we do that is to reflect it by creating a community that's living and working today in Loch Tay around Crannog. So we have a museum, we have an Iron Age village, and we are in the process of building a reconstructed Crannog as well. We're in the very centre of Scotland, as we always like to say. We're an hour and a half to 2 hours from Edinburgh, Glasgow, Inverness, right smack bang in the middle. In terms of what we offer, it's guided tours every day, right the way from February all the way through to December. This is built around, seeing the archaeology that has been excavated here in our loch of these crannogs, these stilted wooden roundhouses built out over on the water. And we see not just the work, the museum, we take you around our Iron Age village where guides in every single area tell the story behind the different skills, the crafts, and the technologies they had. And for the next 12 months, just over, there is going to be a chance to see us actually building a crannog as well, which we're ongoing with, which is traditional timber work out in the loch, built over the loch, creating this crannog. That is our visit, and tied into that is our brand new cafe, which opened, well, the whole place opened on our new site in March this year, following a reopening of the museum after we had a devastating fire back in 2021 on Lost, our reconstructed crannog. And we've gone through the process of rebuilding in a very rapid space of time, opened our new museum with a brand new cafe as well, which is locally sourced, local employment, all of that goes with it. Okay, now that's our offer in terms of the visit. Now, what that actually allows us to do, if you just go on to the next slide for me, what that allows us to do as an organisation is to employ apprentices. We live in an area of Scotland where access to work is incredibly poor. So what did we decide to do was put on an apprenticeship programme, because as a museum, we have to be a service. So we have probably 4 local apprentices in the area, and we are developing the young workforce. By doing so, it allows us to build on our sustainability model. So this fantastic pitch here, which was drawn by Rachel, who is one of our other assistant directors, and my wife as well. She drew this, so I have to say it's a good picture. And she drew this as a way of capturing our sustainability model and how we work. It allows us to do one-to-one work with local students. So we work deeply with the local school, but the pupils that are in the local area that can't engage with school for a number of reasons, whether it's because school's just not right or whatever might be going on at home, we actually work one-to-one with those students. Every week we have 2 or 3 students that we work with every single week, all the time. We do workshops, both in person, online workshops, and we do that with Perth Women's Aid, which is women who have users of a service, survivors of domestic abuse, Glasgow Association of Mental Health. We work with Mary Hill Integration Network, who is a refugee group as well. And on top of that as well, we are able to be a disability confident leader. We're able to be real living wage employers. All of this is stuff that, it's on top of, what we do in terms of a visit, but it's important work that we say that we have to do. And we are leading thinking around museum transformation as well. We work with UNESCO, we work with the Council for British Archaeology, and we work with other museums around what museums can be and how they should be, and how every organisation should be. And what I would say is, just to kind of go through it, our visit is important, obviously. Our work is important, obviously. But you know, the two, they mesh well. So in the last 6 months, and do the sell and the sell and the sell, but in the last 6 months, we won the Responsible Tourism Award for Gold. We've won the Museum and Heritage Awards winner, which is the Oscars for museums, basically, which was the most sustainable museum. We've won Developing the Young Workforce, 2 awards for supporting the next young workforce, supporting all young people. And we're finalists currently for an Archaeological Achievement Award in Sustainability Engagement. And on top of all that, we're still in the top 10 on TripAdvisor as well. So the point is, it's great work, but there's great experiences that we can offer too. And it's as an organization, we shift from local to national to international importance where we can. And the whole point is we can offer great experience for people to allow them to engage and become part. And we always explain it as becoming part of that community of work that we try and do as well. So what I'll do is I'll stick a link to the website in the chat. There is a travel trade document on there about the work that we do. It's all, you know, very good and formal travel trade information, but we are super flexible. We can tailor, we can work with anybody. We tailor every single tour every single day anyway, because you never know who's coming through your door. And to engage folk, you always have to, you know, whoever comes through your door, you tailor your tour to them anyway. So if you let us know beforehand, we can tailor and we can do everything. We can do lunch, we can do the whole shebang as it is.
Right.
And can support a great community.
Thanks, Rich. Sorry to cut you off there. We'll make sure your contact is in the chat there, as you said. And there's been a link also posted to your Meaningful Travel Map profile so that people will be able to reach out to you. We're going to skip this round of questions so we can move along to the rest of our impact partner presentations. But I would just encourage all of our impact partners to hop into the chat and address the question that has already been answered in the Q&A, but I think it would be great if each of you could answer a little bit about how you handle groups of, you know, 40 or 45, because that's a typical coach size. And we definitely have folks in the Tourism Cares community who work for tour operators that run motor coach tours. And that will allow you as well, Rich, to answer the question that's in the Q&A. So Caitlin, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, no, fantastic. There's a question in the Q&A specifically for you, Rich, so I'll let you answer it there. So we're now going to focus our attention on those experiences that let you connect to Scotland's stories and our traditions. So I will pass you over to Kat Brogan, who is Managing Director for Marcat Tours.
Hi there, folks. Lovely to see you, and very inspired by all the stories that we've heard so far. Thank you, Caitlin. I'm Kat from Market Tours, and our story began in a classroom in 1970s, would you believe, with my dad, who was a history teacher, and he believed that history is a damn good story. What it needs is a damn good telling, and that's what he would do in the classroom every day. But he was one of those teachers that just, the walls were just too, they were just too tight. So he would take his classes out of school and up to the very best classroom you could imagine for a history teacher, the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, the heart of the old town in Edinburgh. And when he was doing that through the late 70s and the 80s, he found even then visitors coming on the back of his class because they thought he was a tour. He thought they were a tour guide. And there began an idea which, on the 1st of July 1985, gave birth to Market Tours. And Market is the old Scots word for market, and you will find a Market cross, which is our little logo, a Market cross in every town and village across Scotland, because that is where you would go to do your bartering, to do as a market. But for us, the most important thing is you would go to the Market cross to get a guide. Okay, a local to give you a warm welcome and lead you around the old town. And you would be met with, in the past, locals, and this is our team who would meet you now. Why Market? We're now almost 40 years old, we're into our second generation, and we are incredibly proud of who we are and what we are. We still give history damn good telling, and back in 2017, we asked our team, why do we do what we do? What gets us out of bed? And as a team, we agreed 7 years ago, it's to make meaningful connections. And it is the most deep and natural thing to do as humans, to share a story. And that is what we do. We have history walks, we have ghost tours, tours above ground around the old town with premium partners such as Edinburgh Castle, the National Museum of Scotland, the Palace of Holyrood House, and also, as you saw there, the Blair Street Underground Vaults. We have whisky tasting experiences. We have scheduled tours every day of the year, apart from Christmas Day. And our tours are the smallest in the city. We take 18 per group. But don't worry, if you have more, we're the largest walking tour company in Scotland, in fact. So we will have many guides ready to give that warm welcome. And with what we do, we give that family feel, that personal touch. And with that comes quality, real care and passion, and multi-award winning. And just a few months ago, we became the first B Corp dedicated attraction in the United Kingdom, which we're thrilled with, along with our 5 stars and along with the many other plaudits that we have. So you know, as the travel trade working with Mercat Tours, you will get reliable, guaranteed quality. We have our sales manager, Lauren, who's always ready to help with assets from our marketing team. Julie's on the call, whether it's video, images to help you promote, or facts and what will make it that little bit more special for your private groups or indeed for your FIT guests. So the next slide will tell you why or how your team, your visitors will have impact by choosing Mercat. You're supporting a family business. We are a living wage team. We guarantee our team contracts year round, no seasonal work, no short-term work. And therefore, you know you're working with the very best stable employer. What we do, it couldn't get slower. We are walking, enjoying fresh air, sharing those connections and those stories from the past. So it's low impact, it's carbon neutral. And most importantly, which I'll share a video of, the Our Stories, Your City project, which we launched 2 years ago, shares the stories through our 5-star guides with the local communities who have been disconnected and are vulnerable in Edinburgh. And I'll share more of that shortly. So thank you very much for listening to us. I shall share links and very happy and welcome to hear questions.
Thank you so much, Kat. Amazing. And yeah, congratulations again on the B Corp certification. Amazing. And so at the beginning, John mentioned that Mary Breslin from Radical Weavers is unable to join us today. Unfortunately, she's become unwell. So I'll just quickly touch on who they are and what they do, but I will also include a link into the chat where you can find out more about Radical Weavers as well. So just very quickly, Radical Weavers is a registered Scottish charity dedicated to fostering a significant impact, particularly with people from disadvantaged backgrounds. At the heart of Radical Weavers is being inclusive, inspiring, and wholehearted. And they work with those who are currently not engaged so much in the society, who may have become isolated, typically from trauma and loss. And they work one-to-one to reintegrate them into the society. Mary herself is a trauma psychologist by trade, and in 2019 established the social enterprise Radical Weavers. So they have a vibrant weaving studio in the centre of Stirling, which is easily accessible from Edinburgh and Glasgow, with train and bus stations just on their doorstep. Don't worry, John. There's some slides here that have the experiences available to the travel trade, including weave a tartan scarf in a day, design and weave your own tartan, and a weaving taster session. So I can imagine that goes down very well. Now, they're not traditional weaving experiences, I should say, although they do use old traditional looms for weaving. Think more Vivienne Westwood and you'll get an idea of what they do. And then if you just scroll on a little bit further, we've got all the information there for reaching out to the team at Radical Weavers. And as I say, I'll pop some information into the chat so you can access some more details. So I will now, conscious of time as well, pass over to Lindsay Robertson, who's the owner of Long Island Retreats and Larder over on the Outer Hebrides.
Lindsay, I think you're on mute, so you just want to uncheck your mute box.
There we go, thank you. Hello everyone, and thanks Caitlin for that introduction. I'm one half of Long Island Retreats and Larder. We are a family-run agri-tourism business based on the beautiful island of South Uist. The image you see here is of our base at Loch Skipper on the eastern shore of the island. And I'm sure you can see for yourself, it's an area of outstanding natural beauty. I never feel that we're doing ourselves justice if we don't show this particular view looking across to the Isle of Skye. So my partner DJ, Sunday named Donald John, is a sixth generation crofter born and bred on South Uist. And our business is born first and foremost out of our pride and passion for the land and the livestock and the generations that came before us. We have a number of bookable experiences, from full and multi-day island tours through to 2-hour macher or croft tours, and shorter 45-minute experiences from shearing to ponies and croft. Each tour is created for our travel trade customers completely bespokely, tailored to their exact requirements and customers' interests. Experiences vary in price from £25 to £350 per person, and commission is between 10 to 20% based on the experience and the number of passengers. Our focus is very much on delivering authentic island experiences that allow visitors to immerse themselves in the island way of life. So it's about the crofting heritage and culture, the unique island ecosystems and wildlife. It's about getting up close to our livestock, learning all about our native breeds, learning a little bit of Gaelic, the words and phrases that come to us along the tours, and also tasting our amazing croft produce. Above all, we want visitors to return home with memories of a lifetime and stories to tell. And so we're easily accessible by both flight and ferries. There's 50-minute direct flights from Glasgow daily into Benbecula, which is 20 minutes from us. And there are also ferries daily from Skye, which is an hour and 45-minute ferry journey, and 3.5 hours from Mallaig. We currently work primarily with small coach tours and individual groups with a minimum of 2 passengers up to larger groups of 40. So our peak season is May to September, but we are open year round. In terms of our impact, our main goal has always been to preserve and highlight our crofting heritage and culture, which has shaped the islands, both the people and the place. And I don't know if you can see the shop in the darkness behind us here, but it's a core part of who we are, the brand and the experience that visitors have with us. We're also breathing life back into old croft ruins with self-catering accommodation coming soon. And as crofters, we work as custodians of the land, managing fragile ecosystems on both the macher and hill ground, working that land, but also preserving it, and using our tours to educate visitors and our school links and training for younger generations of islanders as well. Island depopulation is a huge issue for the Hebrides, and we're focused on trying to address this by offering training and employment opportunities for school pupils and leavers to encourage them to stay on island if they wish. It's a wee synopsis of our impact. There's lots more on the website and our listing. I am the main contact for travel trade, so if you have any questions or would like any more information, please do reach out. Thank you.
Thank you to all of our impact partners for jamming a ton of information into very short presentations. I know that's so difficult. You're all incredibly dedicated to creating impact in your local communities, on your local environments, and summarizing that in just 3 minutes is a tough challenge. I'd love to ask the panelists, and maybe 2 or 3 of you can jump in and answer this question. What, we have right now 95 people in here from the travel trade, and I think they all appreciate all the work that you're doing, and they want to know how to be good partners to you, not just how they can, utilize your services. So I'd love to hear some perspectives really quickly on what makes a good travel trade relationship for you when you're there thinking about your impact, when you're there thinking about your day-to-day job. What do you hope for from a tour operator or from a travel advisor as you're building a relationship for long-term impact and mutual success? Looks like Kat, you have your hand raised, so why don't you jump in and answer first?
Thank you. Yes. The clue's in the name, partnership. We get really excited working with our travel trade partners where we feel we hear feedback. So what are the trends? What's coming next? What's being asked for? And you know, what might be just a tiny nugget of an idea, and it might even take a couple of years, actually turns into a real flood of demand. And if we are co-creating, so we're sharing that data and those insights and co-creating, then we share the benefit as a result of that. So we grow together. So I would say partnership is literally that, sharing data, sharing insights, sharing ideas, and working and sharing together, growing together.
Thank you. Sandrine, did you want to jump in as well?
Yeah, I mean, it was just really going to reinforce what Kat was saying. It is really all about partnership, and I touched on the Helm, which is really a community that we've created, which is all about that, is really working together with the operators, you know, as partners and not just as clients and seller, basically, and come up with those products or itineraries which kind of work on all counts. We understand we're all in business. I suppose we have to make sure that our itineraries work and provide us with a living. But equally, it's about finding what are the best itineraries and the best experiences, you know, which are kind of sustainable, and working on this together. And a lot of that is based on trust, because we don't always have all the answers. But I think, you know, having those conversations with the operators between what they're looking for, what we are able to provide, and find a happy medium, which means that we can provide an experience which is sustainable, even if it's potentially a new experience. Hence, the trust is very important. It's kind of working in partnership so that we take risk together in a way to make sure that what we provide might be a bit different from the usual experience, but it's definitely going in the right direction in terms of sustainability.
Wonderful. Thank you. Those are excellent answers, and hopefully that'll provide some guidance for all of our attendees here. We've got some open questions in the Q&A. We've got some questions that have already been answered, some in the chat. Is there anything, because we have about a minute or so left before I want to pass it over to Visit Scotland, is there anything that any of our impact partners want to have a final word on or answer that they haven't gotten a chance to answer so far? If so, just turn your video on and your microphone on and pop in an answer. Okay, if not, again, I want to thank all of our impact partners for joining us and putting the effort into creating short pitch presentations for you. We're going to follow up after the webinar with, you know, a list of all the links and everything like that. But just bear in mind that that's what the Meaningful Travel Map is for. It's for you to be able to go learn about all the impact partners that we have in Scotland. There's, you know, a few dozen of them now. So you'll be able to go in there. You'll be able to get contact information, learn a little bit more, get sent over to their website. So use that as a tool for yourselves. And with that, I will pass it to Gwen from Visit Scotland for some final remarks.
Thanks, John, and thank you to all our panelists and presenters today. And hopefully it's given you a taster of some of the fantastic products that we have all across Scotland. We've got things that will appeal to young clients, to older clients. Hopefully you've got a taste that, you know, there's things to do in Scotland all year round. And we're really grateful to Tourism Cares and the Meaningful Travel Map for giving us this opportunity to really showcase some of these smaller businesses that are really giving back to their local communities. At Visit Scotland, it's really important that we have thriving communities and we have strong tourism businesses that can provide that year-round employment and keep those communities vibrant and interesting for people to visit. And it's working with partners like the people that you've heard from today, but across the whole map that you see on the Meaningful Travel Map, that we're able to ensure that, you know, tourism really is a force for good. So
this is just the beginning for us. You know, we've given you that introduction, but as Kat says, it's all about partnership. Our businesses are really keen to work with you to understand what your clients' needs are, what flexibility you require from us. But really, it's having that immersive experience and getting your clients to really get under the skin of Scotland, meet the locals, hear the stories. You know, I said in the chat, everyone is very passionate about what they do. The challenge is getting them to be quiet about what they do. And as John says, it was a challenge keeping everyone to 3 minutes. So please do get in touch and watch this space. We've got many more impact partners to come. This is really just the beginning for Scotland. So thank you all very much for your time today.